So let me begin again. So today, as promised, we're going to be using meditation for a purpose beyond having a great nap. We're going to learn how to use a meditative state to explore our minds in action. We're going to balance relaxing your body, focusing your mind, but you're going to balance these two with watching yourself think and feel. You can sort of think of it as being an invitation to sit by a river and listen to its endless bubbles, gurgles, and eddies, than be caught up in the currents and carried off downstream. So to do this exercise, you can choose to just go in and watch where your mind wanders, or you can pick a thought or emotion to focus on ahead of time, which we call an intention. And I really recommend doing an intention because if you come in freestyle, you'll face a number of moments where very little happens and you'll need to be extremely patient. You'll start with something like, I'm so bored. I sure hope this is over soon. I wonder if I have any of that mix you could turn into a cake and a coffee mug left. I should have gotten a blanket. Oh no, a car alarm. Anyway, your mind will just go off on this sort of babbling before it gets any focus. But if you pick an intention, you can sort of jump right in. And here's how it works. Let's say that you decide that you've been feeling lonely recently. So you're going to focus on feeling lonely. So you'll start meditating and your feelings arise and you can start exploring what it's like to feel lonely without actually being lonely. You'll see how this emotion rises and falls, and how when you're not even looking, it vanishes and gets replaced by something else, probably something on your to-do list you want to remember. And since next week, we're actually going to be seeing how mindfulness can be used to help relieve anxiety, depression, grief, stress, and even chronic pain. You're doing an intention today will help you get practice for doing that next time. So one of the things you're going to see is you're going to be reminded of when you see a person walking down the street talking to themselves, and we generally assume that they are mentally disturbed. But in fact, we all talk to ourselves constantly. We rehearse past conversations, thinking about what we said, what we didn't say, what we should have said. We anticipate the future, producing a ceaseless string of words and images that fill us with hope or fear. We tell ourselves the story about what is happening in the present as though some blind person were inside our heads who requires continuous narration to know what is happening. Oh, I really like this desk. I wonder what kind of wood that is. Oh, but it doesn't have any drawers. Who are we talking to? No one is there. And we seem to imagine that if we just keep up this inner monologue to ourselves, it's perfectly compatible with our mental health. And here's a tip for all of you who enjoy talking to yourselves out loud in public. Just wear earbuds so everyone will think you're on the phone and you're not a maniac. Because even though inside all of us are doing all this talking all the time, how good is it to be doing this? In Asia, especially in Buddhist circles, being lost in thought is like being asleep at the wheel. In the West, we don't think that much of it. The second thing you'll see during this exercise is that our thoughts and emotions are all real, but are they all true? Some of them might be, many of them are not. We make snap judgments more often than we're even aware of. We tell ourselves stories about what's happening around us. We make assumptions about another's motivation, and we treat those assumptions as fact without even realizing it. The dubious source of these judgments is the appraisal system, an ancient brain and nervous system skill meant to help us to assess danger quickly, come up with an on-the-spot solution, and get us to safety. It's a Darwinian survival of the fittest method that makes us do these things. But that system doesn't work for many people now. And you can see it in yourself. You'll say, oh, he left the breakfast food out because he was lazy and he wants me to put it away. She's on her phone texting because she wants to ignore me. He didn't answer my text because he doesn't like me anymore. We do this kind of thing constantly. Two of the things that have happened to me along these lines are that when I meditated, I realized how often I audition for difficult conversations I expect to have. So I'll say, oh, this is going to happen, and I'll see them, and he'll say this, and I'll say this, and then she'll say that, and I'll say this. And I do this. I must have spent thousands of hours of my life doing this. And the meditation made me realize how none of these conversations have ever happened. that I'm wrong about something, or by the time I finally see these people, they don't care about that anymore. Or there's all these reasons why this constant auditioning has never really produced anything. And a lot of times our fears don't turn out to be productive of anything. Mark Twain said that my life has been filled with terrible misfortunes, most of which have never happened. A more serious revelation in meditation about all this came to me during the years when I had chronic fatigue, because after a couple of days of chronic fatigue, my brain would go, I don't know if you have fatigued. Maybe you're really depressed. And if that's true, let's think of all the reasons you deserve to be depressed. And after a few days of being severely depressed, I'd suddenly wake up and go, wait a minute, I'm not depressed, I'm just tired. And this would happen repeatedly over and over and over again, and moving sort of back and forth between the fatigue and the depression. So, and then all of us know our judging mind, which is constantly representing all the critical and disappointed voices from when we were kids. And if you try and stop judging by saying, I shouldn't be judging, I'm being too harsh, you're only judging some more. So we try and get past that by saying, oh, thank you for your opinion and moving on. When I was at teacher school, so we had to come up with our ideas of what consciousness was. So I said, the mind is like a tree that makes its own birds, meaning its thoughts. And some of the birds mate and nest and give birth to more birds, while other birds fly directly into the tree over and over again for reasons we can't understand. So you're going to find during this meditation that when a painful experience arises, you're going to try and stop it and run away from it. And when a pleasant experience comes up, you're going to want to hold on to it and grab it. And we always want to do that. But after you do enough of this meditation, you'll see that all of these things just come and go, that they're almost all equivalent in certain ways, that they're just part of the flow of life. And so this is a wonderful thing to be able to see, that you have all these feelings that happen, all these thoughts that happen, and they just puff, like turn into puffs of smoke and get replaced by something else. And in a way, it reduces the power these things have over you, and it makes you think like, maybe I'm not my thoughts, maybe I'm something else. So in the end, we can't control how other but bad things that happen to us. We can only control how we respond. And Viktor Frankl, who wrote about his experience in concentration camps as a source of discovering his life's meaning, said about this, between stimulus and response, there is a space. In that space is our power to choose our response. In our response lies our growth and our freedom. So this is the first step in making that effort. So let's get started. Take a posture that allows you to be comfortable and relatively still, a posture that helps you feel both alert and at ease. Decide on the intention that you'd like to go for when you do this meditation. Close your eyes. Be aware of the sounds coming and going in your environment. Look at the lights inside your eyelids. Completely relax. Take a big breath and then exhale fully, feeling the tension leave your body. Be aware of breathing, the cool air coming in and the warm air going out, your chest and belly rising and falling. Don't try to control your breath in any way. Just let it be what it is. Try to feel as safe as you can. You're in a protected setting, strong in yourself, able to relax your vigilance and bring your attention inward. Feel the weight of your body and the earth's gravity holding you in its embrace. Find some compassion for yourself. Focus on this breath. And now this one. And this one. Now think about your toes. Notice how your focus makes your toes feel differently. Think about feelings in your toes that feel good, that don't feel good, and that feel neutral. Did you cut your toenail wrong and cause some pain? Could you bury your toes in the sand on a beach? Are they cold? Are they warm? Can your force of concentration make them warmer? See how these feelings and thoughts rise and fall. Now move up from your feet to your calves. In the 18th century, you'll see lots of pictures of men posing with their leg twisted to show off their big, manly calves, the way men show their biceps today. Now move to your thighs and think of all the good things your legs have done for you. Now move to your belly. Feel how it expands, pulling the air into your lungs, and then contracts, pushing the exhaust air out. Now move to your back. I hope your back is feeling good today. I know frequently many of our backs don't feel so good. And rise up your spine. Now get to the back of your neck and your shoulders. Usually people have some tension in this area. Get your mind to tell your neck and shoulders to relax. Everything's fine. They don't have to do anything. They don't have any problems to solve. And now think about your jaw, your cheeks, your nose, behind the eyes, your ears, your inner ears, and your entire scalp. Are your ears plugged? Do you have a headache? Is your nose stuffy? Are you breathing regularly? Are you filled with hope? See the good and bad and neutral sensations and how they rise and fall and get replaced with something else. Think of your whole body. Let your ideas about it rise like balloons in the wind. Are there any spots where you've had surgeries? Are there any places that you remember being hugged or held or kissed? Now take a few deeper breaths, breathing in a calming energy as you inhale, letting go of tension and sorrow as you exhale. And let your breath breathe your body. Fall into yourself. Open your mind like a clear blue sky. Let your thoughts and emotions pass through like clouds. If you start feeling any feelings of rapture or joy, open up to them, invite them in, let bliss arise, let happiness arise. Shift your attention to these feelings. There is something in human psychology that prepares us to avoid fear and pain by always expecting things to go wrong. We look out for the worst. We always default imagine something's going wrong. So right now, don't think anything is going wrong. Think of happiness. Think of bliss. Think of the joy of being here now. Be tranquil. Be happy. Be content. Now refocus on your anchor. Your mind is getting very quiet. You're thinking about your entire breathing apparatus. You feel your whole body breathing. If things start to pass through your mind, just let them. Don't hold on to anything. Don't push anything away. Just relax and let it pass through you. From time to time, remember to relax your body and return to your anchor while letting thoughts and emotions come in. If your mind wanders, don't be frustrated or discouraged. Just become aware that thinking is happening and bring your attention back to your breath. Don't be annoyed or frustrated or irritated. Just be patient and kind. Every time you've noticed your mind wandering, you can strengthen your ability to be here now. Some people find it helpful to softly name the experience of thinking with a very gentle, non-judging tone. Thinking, thinking, or feeling, feeling. Simply knowing the process is happening, not getting lost in the content. Don't try and get rid of thoughts and feelings. Your very effort will just make them stronger. Don't be concerned with them. Just watch them pass through you. You can think of thoughts as sentences and emotions as one-word descriptions. Some repetitive thoughts are fueled by emotions underneath them. If a thought pattern keeps arising, you might ask yourself, what am I feeling now? Also notice how you are not your thoughts, and many of your thoughts aren't completely true. For example, if you remember things about your mother, those memories are not your mother, they are your memories. Imagine your mind as a big blue sky, vast, open, and always there. Your mental experiences, from sensations to thoughts to memories to feelings, are like clouds passing through that sky. Sometimes the clouds are light and fluffy. Sometimes they're stormy and dense. And sometimes they completely fill the entire sky and make it overcast. But the clouds don't mean the sky is gone. It's always there. Clouds will pass, and again, you'll see your blue sky. Just as the sky doesn't become the cloud, the mind doesn't become your thoughts. Learn to observe the clouds and the stories you tell yourself. See if you can hold your thoughts lightly. See if you can notice the content. Are you worrying? Are you planning? Are you self-judging? Are you being creative? Are you self-praising? See if you can see yourself watching the space of awareness, the witness to it all. Your mind is coming into singleness. There is awareness of the body as a whole, of experience as a whole, a sense of boundaries and barriers falling away within your mind, no resistance to anything, utterly letting go. Allow states of mind to occur that may be unfamiliar to you. Let go of any thoughts. Become one with the breath. There is nothing to reach for, nothing to be, nothing to strive for. There is nothing for your mind to solve. You're peaceful and free. When you like, gradually bring the meditation to an end. Return from wherever you are to tranquility, then contentment, then happiness, then a state of rapture, then a more everyday state of mind. Take your time. Be gentle with yourself. So, one of my favorite people at Meditation Teacher School is a woman named Aisha, who lives in Istanbul and who's much more advanced in all of this than I am. Well, I'm here trying to get you guys to spend 30 minutes a week. Aisha's hosting 8-hour retreats, but I'll never forget one of her favorite sayings, which in her voice is, don't think bad, think beautiful.